All right, here we are at policyholder Henry Brewer's residence at 4387 Union Road in Richton, Mississippi. Claim number 202-609-636. And we are here to attempt to do a shingle repair. One of the prescribed 3 squares of shingles. And so we're going to come over here to the front, and we've got quite a bit of widespread damage here across all 4 directional slopes. Here, tree limb puncture there that will be tarped. We're not really there for that. We're here to determine the shingles repairability and note whether spot repairs are feasible. So without further ado, here is our target shingle. Which we are guessing that one of these shingles is a part of the 3 squares that was allowed for at the time of estimating. So generally speaking, the process, I'm gonna debond the shingles, the row of shingles above the target shingle, and we're gonna take the nails out without creating any failure points, which is fastener pulls, shingle creasing, shingle tearing, and material transfer. So we're just gonna get these debonded here. Shouldn't be too hard with the amount of wind damage here. Oh, there we go. We're using an industry preferred tool, the roof snake, suitable for these 3 tabs, recommended by the insurance carriers. To avoid any over manipulation that could occur. And again, I'm just debonding these shingles here, and it's giving me some fits, but there we go. Come up a little above it here. Check for material transfer. Pretty significant material transfer already occurring across the sealant strip there. Could result in some issues there. So let's start taking the nails out without the tearing of that nail hole through the shingle. Yeah, pretty significant fastener pulls so far. And what that's doing is the shingle itself is tearing rather than the nail coming through. And so that nail hole in the shingle, instead of it being the size of a, yeah, we've got some fastener pulls here. The shingle is just kind of tearing as I'm trying to get to the nail head itself. I may have to come back to that one. We'll come back for that one. Shingles are not manipulated very easily at this point. Some more of that fastener pull here. And as I was saying, what happens is the holes in the shingles, instead of them being the size of the tip of the nail, the hole becomes the size of the actual nail head, which as we know doesn't shed water effectively and has compromised the shingle itself. So we're just moving along here. not being over aggressive, not over manipulating shingles. We're just trying to access the nail heads. Some more fastener pulls there. It seems to be a pretty common theme so far. Let's see how many we got left. All right, we have freed target shingle up. I just like to observe the shingle as we take it out, even though this is the target shingle, the damaged shingle. Pretty significant material transfer here. Pretty hard to make out with the cellophane strip once read. Anytime I pull these 3 tabs, I like to put my gauge on it just for an idea. As you can see, it slides to that 20 year pretty easily. Now we are going to install this shingle here, which, as I'm seeing already, there's a really big significant size difference in this material versus the common Owens Corning 3 tab. So that is going to result in quite a few issues. But that just does not fit. So although we're gonna call this repair temporary, still want to show that we're making efforts. Again, more significant material transfer here, significant here, and those fastener pulls have become the size of the nail head. Some significant material transfer there. Alright. We'll start installing some of these fasteners with our snake tool here. And so this is the recommended repair method for these 3 tab shingles. Pretty significant issue so far. Just the amount of force it takes to drive these shingles, I can already tell it's creating some impact, some matting fractures and cracks just from using this tool here. And so it appears the use of the tool, although we're not over manipulating shingles, it is creating some fractures in the shingles just from the impact of the hammer. So as we come along here, pretty significantly impacted in just completing this one repair here. Not wanting to use any more force than necessary just to install the fastener. We've got our nails in the second row, top row there. We're gonna come back through and put a few more in the first row. And although we're not manipulating or over manipulating the shingles much, you're starting to see a little bit of fracture there across the top of the shingle. So again, just something to notate here. The impact from the snake tool that's leaving on the shingle surrounding seems significant enough to mention. No over manipulation, but significant impact marks left from the snake tool nonetheless. All right. So now that we have the fasteners installed, we can see here the impacts left. The impacts left from the snake tool almost looks like hail, the way it fractured the matting here. So due to the condition of the shingles and the fact that more damage is done using the snake tool than good, we will be supplementing for the affected wind damaged facets. That will conclude the video.